hello, and welcome, Opulence Global Nation. Welcome to our leadership cocktail. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. And of course, my name is Rico Quilao, Business Development Manager of Opulence Global Philippines, coming to you live all the way from the Philippines. And I'm very honored and privileged to host this call. And most especially, welcome to our valued guest for today. Hello to each and every one of you. And thank you so much for tuning in and taking time to be with us, and we're going to make sure that your time will be worth your while. Well, I am excited to be here, and it has been our mission to help people improve their life through education, information, and inspiration, because this is what this show is all about. And for those of you who are new in this call, our company Opulence Global provides opportunities and solutions that help people improve their life. As a matter of fact, our vision in this company is to provide an opportunity for everyone to live an opulent life. Now, opulence simply means the best of the best. It also means abundance in wealth, and that's what our name stands for. So today we are going to share with you bits and pieces of information that might be of help to you to achieve the things that you really want in life. And we are also going to share some stories and experiences that might also be helpful to you. So if you have any questions for today's call, there's a Q&A box that you can see on your screen right now. You can put them there, and hopefully we can answer them as we proceed with the program. And if you have any insights or takeaways in this call, please feel free to put them in our chat box, because we also love to hear from you. All right. So for today, are you a lot of valuable things from none other than our CEO, who is our very special guest for today. So for today, I'm really excited because we have, of course, none other than the main man himself, Opulence Global's founder, CEO, Mr. Ramin Mesgarlou. And let me give you a little bit of his background. And of course, was he born with special talents? No, we all started at the same place, but some of us decide not to stay there. We keep on evolving, according, of course, to our founder and CEO. And just to give you a little bit of his background, he was able to build 4 multi-million-dollar MLM business as a distributor. He founded MLM's most advanced MLM university, the Forensic Networker. He founded MLM's premier and most prestigious MLM company, voted world's top MLM compensation plan expert, featured in Networking Times as Master Networker, featured on the cover of American Business Journal with Warren Buffett, voted world's #2 all-time MLMer, businessforhome.org, nominated for Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year, voted in MLM's first inductee Hall of Fame with Paul Zane Pilzer, and his company ranked top momentum company in MLM in the pandemic by the businessforhome.org in 2020, and voted top network again by businessforhome.org. But personally, I know him as a caring leader. He has been my mentor, my coach, and my encourager. And one thing I truly admire about him is that he has the heart to help people. No wonder he is called by the people who really knows him as the CEO with the heart of gold. So without much further ado, it is my privilege and honor to introduce our very special guest speaker for today. Please help me welcome none other than Opulence Global's founder and CEO, Mr. Ramin Mesgarlou. Good morning, CEO Ramin. It's a privilege to have you on this call.
Good morning, Rico. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, Sir Ramin. Go ahead.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. I guess all of that, what it means is that I've done this a while, and we've done a lot of, we've done some right things. We've been managed to impact in the last 3 decades plus, make a lot of impact, not just with our companies, but globally through the Forensic Networker. At Forensic Networker, I mean, Opulence, as in this company, we talk a lot of opulence, but the Forensic Networker has changed far more lives than Opulence has, because I've been doing that. I wrote the book 23 years ago, but 84 companies are using it. It's not just our company. Obviously, our company has full access because, you know, it's my book and you have me right here. But you know, so we just contribute to the world. I have a Zoom call on Tuesday for another country, and none of them are in our business because we don't do business in that country. And we expect thousands of lines. Last time I did a call with that country, we had 5,200 lines, 5,200 Zoom calls, Zoom lines. So it's going to be in my native language again. So if you speak Farsi, you're welcome to get on the call. And but you get that right here with me. We do a Tuesday forensic call. But I try to contribute to the whole industry once or twice a year, and also to my own country once or twice a year. This is my contribution to the world and the whole industry. So today I thought we're going to talk about, especially if you got some new partners, you got some new guests. I want to talk about some different things because the world's changed quite a lot last 2 years. My almost 50 years, no, 45 years in this country, I've never seen anything like this. And it's the same in every country in the world. And when things change, as dramatic as change because of the pandemic, the way how it affected businesses, of course, MLM has changed too. It's because MLM is a form of business. You know, been doing this for 33 years, and I'm a comp plan expert. So the things that we used to talk a lot about was, who's got the biggest comp plan? So companies will come out with this, fake plan. Oh, we pay like $250,000 a week. Of course, nobody ever got there. It was, but it's just that was the thing to talk about. Like, who's got the biggest dog, right? Um, with us, we bragged about our comp plan rate number one for years and years and years, because I'm a comp plan expert and I made sure of that. But today's changed now. I don't think anybody cares anymore. If something can pay 20,000 a week, that's a lot of money. Or 200,000 a week. It doesn't make any sense because it's a lot of money. 20,000 is a lot of money, and then you want something that's actually achievable, not some ridiculous number on a piece of paper that it looks good, but no one can get to. I think most after the pandemic, the focus for most people now, I mean, for everybody, I don't think nobody cares about how big is the comp plan anymore. They care about, look, I need to make some money because I got locked out of my job. Nobody imagined you get locked out of your job, your businesses, but it did. It happened. You got locked out of being outside. Let that sink in for a bit. I would have never imagined this can actually happen. So for me, I'm a quick learner. I'm a quick study. Stuff like this happens. It's okay. That gate just opened. And when a gate opens, it never closes. It's just now it's the next level. So in the beginning of the pandemic, I did a bunch of changes right away. It took about 3 weeks, and then we went online, and we had the best year in 2020. And then we've carried ourselves through the whole pandemic since. Many companies closed down, and I'm studying this whole industry. And it's okay. You know what? I think we need to tweak our plan now, because a lot of people are now looking to work from home. I mean, this pandemic stuff will never end. It will never end. If you think things are going to get back to normal, you're mistaken. Look, Spanish flu started 100 years ago. It wiped out a quarter of the world's population. That was far worse than this. And it never went away. We still have the flu every year. They've had the vaccine for it for 100 years. It's still here. So this COVID stuff, I mean, I don't really care what it's called, because at the end of the day, it's a flu, it's a virus. It's never going to go away. It's here to stay. So our expectations shouldn't be what's the government going to do or what's going to happen to the virus, because it's irrelevant to us. We have to decide what we're going to do, how we're going to adjust to the environment so we can live our life as normal as possible, because we can't worry about things we have no control over. We have to do things that we have control over. So a few weeks ago, with recognition that there's billions of people now who either don't have a job, they lost their job, or they don't want to go back to work, right? They just want to work from home, because people have also developed new habits. I mean, we get locked in for 2 years. You're going to develop some new habits. Stay home, watch TV, do whatever you want to do. You may not have a lot of money, but you develop a new habit. You were locked out. You're at home. So we wanted to focus on these billions of people who are now either don't want to go back to work or they're locked out of their jobs. So we did some tweaks to our comp plan, and we have this thing called the income pathway. So it's basically a fast track to 5 figures. So if you join today, next 30 days, you're going to make $1,200. And for most countries, I mean, it's $1,200 just in wholesale profit. There's 12 ways of making money. We're not even going to talk about the big money, but just next 30 days, you come in, here's $1,200, and that's your base to start. And next month, you do the same thing, it goes higher. Next thing you know, by fourth or fifth month, you're over 10,000. So it's called fast track to 5 figures monthly income. So we're starting focusing now in the front end, not so much, people who are making millions in our business, because right now I think that's really irrelevant. I mean, a lot of people are, it's nice that they're there because you know that, okay, there's a path to become a multi-million-dollar earner in this company because we have people who've done it. But I think a lot of people right now are thinking, okay, I really need to replace my income of my job because I don't want to go back to my job. So that's one thing. So we've done some tweaking. Anyone, and this is why we have to make this a focus of our conversation and our tours. And this is why now we have this income pathway. We're renaming it to fast track to 5-figure monthly income. We have now, that becomes a focus even in our tours, because a new person is thinking, Opulence looks good, and what's there not to look good? We got designer fashion, you got the best health products, 18-year track record, we got all these, we have an accolade book this thick of all the recognitions and awards. There's nothing about Opulence that doesn't look good. Everybody loves it, right? But whether they join the business or not is two parts. One is, what's the business? And that looks great, Opulence, right? Just the name Opulence, I'm so proud of that. I mean, opulence, if you don't know what it means, just Google it. It's the epitome of luxury. It's the Rolls Royce of rock. I mean, there's nothing higher than opulence.com, right? It's like saying casino.com. I mean, if you're in the casino business, that's the ultimate domain to have, right? So, and we fought 3 years for this, by the way. We paid big money for it. So opulence is so that's the first part that everybody would love. But whether they join or not is part two. And that's how you do the business, right? How you do. So what's the business? How you do the business. So the income pathway makes it so simple that you come in, here's what you do this week. And you get 3 tours, you convert one. $300 in your pocket. That's good money. I mean, I can tell you, that's good money in Canada. Forget about anywhere else. You can come on and put that type of part-time money, and boom, now you got another business partner to run with. Next week, 3 tours, and we have all these different ways of doing tours. You can do it online, which are offline. We got PowerPoints, we got videos, we got all kinds of ways for you to do this half-an-hour tour. I mean, after 18 years, our advantage is we have built everything already. Everything already is in the system. You have to explore your business. You got to dig deep in your Opulence business because there's stuff that you haven't even seen. So next week, 3 tours, 30 minutes each, convert one, $300. Now you got 2 partners to run with. How cool is that? You're not alone anymore. Now there's 3 of them. Of course, they're duplicating you. First day, I mean, first week, because right on the tour night, they saw 3 tours, convert one, 3 tours, convert one. A month goes by, you put $1,200 in your jeans, and you've got 4 partners to run with. There's 5 of you. Of course, they're doing the same thing. And you do that month 2 and then month 3, and they're making money, you're making money, you're building a community, building a team, exploring your business. Month 4, month 5, 5 figures. And so we call that fast track. Now there's a pathway to 5 figures that takes about 12 to 18 months. That's slower. We have those systems in place, but it is a very simple plan. People now, like I get approached now at least once or twice a day because I find, and you know this already, because if you're out there prospecting, people are so much more open today than they were pre-pandemic. If you're actually doing things, you already know that. The people who are not ready in pre-pandemic, although the fundamentals haven't changed. I mean, the stuff that I'm talking about today, we talked about 30 years ago. I mean, the fundamental, because inflation was always real. The household spending power going down, that's always real. So families going to weaker, and the record bankruptcies was always real. It just got accelerated last 2 years. That's all. But so people are now awake, and they realize that they don't want to go back outside, whether they're afraid of the silly thing that's going on or whether they just got new habits. Either way, they're looking now more than ever to work from home and work on e-commerce and working online. So prospecting is not a hard thing anymore. You just have to put your flag up and say, hey, we're open for business, and look at our business. You just have to present, your opportunity, put it out there, and let people who are looking at opportunities and they see yours. So your flag has to be up. You've got to be working loudly. I think it's a really big mistake if you let one day go by, one day, forget about a week, forget about a month, forget about one day. If one day goes by that you don't put your flag up, I think you've made a huge mistake. Especially these days, because although our business never shut down and we worked every single day throughout the pandemic, so that did, but your prospects tend to get shut down because they are not part of this community to know they don't have to stop. I say outside the walls of Opulence, everybody stopped. Everybody got locked down. Everybody got depressed. Everybody they were part of this pandemic thing. In the walls of Opulence, nothing changed for us. We had 35 tours a week. 35 tours, different languages, different time zones. We were, as a matter of fact, you already know, 2020, we set record incomes for our team and record sales. So for us, things don't change moving forward, but for your prospects, well, if there is another wave of something, I mean, I think we're at number 10 now, it's a joke now, but the governments are not doing this because they're worried about health. I think you noticed that by now. They're doing this because A, it's profitable, B, gives them more powers. Look in Canada, we have a dictator now. Canada! I mean, this is supposed to be the friendly country of the world. And we have a dictator. Even today, 10 million Canadians still cannot travel. Can you imagine that? They can't get on a plane. How? How is that possible? Right? They can go on a train. So if you're not paying attention, you're going to struggle. So what does Opulence bring? Opulence brings freedom, independence. We have a very sophisticated infrastructure, 18-year track record that gives you everything you need to be completely independent and detached from the junk that goes on with your government or in your country and regulations. It is junk because it has nothing to do with health. This just became something that now the governments can hang their hat on and come up with regulation. In 2001, September 11, right? They implemented some security laws, and because of the attacks that happened in New York. Well, those things haven't happened for 22 years. They still have the same security laws. So even everyone's making fun of it. Americans are making fun of it. It's like, what? I need to take my shoes off to get on a plane? So at the end of the day, this stuff has nothing to do with what's going for health or security. It is profitable. So how do you not become part of that? You need an independent business that goes beyond your borders, that's always stacked and loaded with its unique and exclusive products, that's not reliant on any other supply chain. It's not reliant on any other, you know, like we manufacture and design our own products and we control our manufacturing. We control manufacturing. So if you want to be independent from the junk that's going on and will happen and will go on forever, you'll see. This stuff's not stopping on. Then you don't have to go far. Just dig into your Opulence business. I mean, what's a business? You need a business that you could do whenever you want. Check mark. You need a business that has complete infrastructures in place you can do from home. Check mark. You need a business that have all these products that's not reliant on, because if we sold products that's being sold out in the stores, then we wouldn't have any products because there's much more priorities out there than us. And there's a lot of companies going out of business because of that, right? Because they're sharing the products with the world. Here, exclusive. Check mark. You need a business that's got a lot of support. 35 calls a week. Check mark. I mean, you're on this call right now, right? You need a business that can pay you regardless of the banking, whatever. Check mark. I'm sure you heard that our dictator over here locked down people's bank accounts. They couldn't pay their mortgages. Why? Because they did a donation of $50 to the people who were peacefully demonstrating. Why is this important? This is not a political call. But your eyes have to open up to things you never thought that was possible. Realize, we do live in someone else's world. We think we have freedom. This is Canada. We have no freedom. You know, when your own mother cannot visit you at your own home, you thought you owned your home. That's your mother, right? And when someone else says that she cannot join, or my son cannot come to my house, my son, someone else is telling me I can't see my son because they put a mandate, then you start to realize, well, of course, we never listen. But the point is, but when somebody does that, many did listen, then you got to open up your eyes. Okay, I need to detach myself from that environment that no one can tell me who I can see, when I can work, how I can work, how much money I can make. So Opulence gives you an opportunity to be detached from the future, to be independent. And I think independence is probably the most important thing you look for, because we can always find ways to make money as long as you're detached from the junk that happens. I mean, there are, again, millions of Canadians, they can't go to their job or they got fired, including police officers and firemen, because they just didn't want the vaccine. So you got to learn from that. You got to learn from that, right? So how can I become independent? How do I find my freedom? And Opulence check marks everything you need. Everything you need. One of the things that I'm really proud of is we have an 18-year track record. The other day, we had Sherry Zell come to our office. She's in California. Actually, she's our first lady millionaire. You saw the post. I hadn't seen it in years. So it was really nice to see her. And if you ask Sherry, Sherry, how many weeks in a row have you got paid? She would take a calculator. She's been with us, I think, 17 years, so 16 years. She'll have to 16 times 52. That's how many weeks in a row she's been paid. Without interruption. Without interruption, including the pandemic. So nothing changed for her. How do you like that story? Do you think she has independence? Do you think she has freedom? Do you think she cares about the junk that happens outside the walls of Opulence? Yeah. So those are the things you got to look at. I mean, that's just one example. We could, there's a lot, right? Efra got caught in Turkey. I mean, she lives in Toronto. She was there a year plus, whatever it was. Do you think her income stopped because she was caught in a pandemic and she was caught in outside the country? No. We paid her every Tuesday. She was probably having a good time in Turkey, outside the lockdown. And, you know, she never had to worry about getting paid. We've heard about, Ronan gets stuck in Thailand. Hey, if you're going to get stuck anywhere, might as well be in the beautiful jungles and resorts. If you're going to get stuck anywhere, you might as well be on resorts, right? So, just those are not stories just to listen to. Those are stories to be inspired by and say, okay, there are things in life now more than ever we have no control over. There's too much monkey business going on between the government and drug companies and all this stuff, right? There's nothing we can do about that. But what we can do, detach ourselves from the environment, from the country we live in. And we allow you to do that because our business is a global business. So if you get stuck outside the country, by the way, Sherry's from Toronto. Because of this business, she found her dream life and dream husband and all this stuff in California. She moved to the US. That's another thing about this I want to talk about because, because of the pandemic, again, I'm bringing all these other things in just so I can paint a picture for you of a Opulence picture. So because of the pandemic, some countries who really profited a lot from it, like Canada, like Austria, like Australia, like New Zealand, like France, and like Germany. So I'm looking at some things, and there are a lot of the reports I'm getting is that the countries that were very strict on the COVID mandates, there's a record number of applications of their citizens looking to leave the country and go live somewhere else. Record. In Canada, over 100,000 applications of middle class to upper class that are leaving Canada now, because I'm looking into it, because we're a global business and we got 11 incorporations worldwide. Even myself, I think I'm done with this country. So I'm thinking next 3-4 years, I want to be somewhere else, right? So the head office would still be here and distribution would still be here, but then personally, I want to remove myself. So I'm looking into this and I'm shocked by what these agencies are telling us. And that, New Zealand is a small country, 55,000 applications of people that want to leave New Zealand. So the countries that were really, really tough on these mandates, people who are middle class and upper class are saying, we're not putting up with this nonsense. We didn't work our entire lifetime to be locked down and told what to do, and nobody likes what they're saying. So if you have a job, well, it's kind of tough to do that, isn't it? It's tough to relocate. Even if you have a traditional business, it's tough to relocate. If you have an Opulence business, it's already there. It's already there. We pay you on our internal, detached from the banking system. We give you your debit card, and the debit card works everywhere. We give you a system called iPayout. It pays everywhere. So you can, just like how we talked about, and Sherry and Ronan, doesn't matter where you are. When Renee gets on the road to go to Malaysia or Singapore, his card works. His business doesn't stop. So there's so much more to the Opulence business versus other types of businesses. Because other types of businesses, they got shut down. Doesn't matter if you owned your own business, you couldn't go in. And even the ones who opened, police raided them and charged them and all these things. So Opulence business, though, that didn't happen. It never stopped one day, one moment. So there's so much more to your Opulence business. You just got to dig into it more and more. So what's going to happen? Because people have changed a lot. They've woken up, right? They've woken up. A lot of people now, the reason why it's easier to prospect today than ever before is because People who thought they had a cushy job that they were going to retire with, all of a sudden, all of that's changed. All that's changed. I mean, I'm in Toronto, and you see all the same in every country you go to. You see all these big office buildings, the signs on them now, because our country companies are shrunk, right? Some closed down, some send people home to work. So the world's changed. Whether you know it or not, yet it's changed already. Everything is changed. So more and more people are going to be looking for this type of business if your flag is up and working loudly. That's the thing. Work loudly. Be the loudest voice in your city, in your country, the loudest you can be on the internet, because people are looking anyways, and they just have to see your flag, right? So at least they can compare you with what else is out there. So when there's a lot of customers, a lot of inquiries, and of course a lot of companies just keep on launching because they figure, hey, you know, there's an old analogy. If there were, year 7,777, the mice takes over the world. Mice. When that happens, what type of business do you want to be? Well, mousetrap business, right? Mousetrap. There's mice everywhere, so everybody needs a mousetrap. And you don't even have to have the best mousetrap. You just have to have something that works, and you make a lot of money. So we have the absolute best mousetrap out there for people who need moving forward. It's some type of detached business model that they can control, move with. They can pass it on to the next generation. They could share, right? They could protect. This is the type of business. What I love about this business, and this stuff that we don't talk about, but we definitely need to talk about. We saw people with bank accounts get confiscated. That's an eye opener. In Canada, we have new laws now. They have this emergency act. They can do what the hell they want, whatever the hell they want, right? So it's nice to be in a business that no one can confiscate. Let that sink in. People had a traditional business, they got raided, shut down. They got the licenses pulled. They had jobs, they got locked down. No one can confiscate your Opulence business. No one. For most of you, it's all your country. How you get paid is outside the country. Card works everywhere. We're not mandated to respond to anybody in any country other than Canada. So there you go. How much is that worth? Take a look in your city. People who have invested so much money into their businesses and they got shut down and now they're closed. They lost their life savings. They lost their life savings. You got to give these things some thought. If you don't, then I guess everything goes right by you and you never have an appreciation for anything. If you talk to the people who've lost their jobs and businesses and now their lifestyle, you get to realize how good this is. I always say human beings need a point of reference. We need a point of reference. We need something to compare ourselves to. So I'm kind of drawing this parallel between what's going on in the world right now and your Opulence business. So let's talk MLM a little bit, because now everybody's going to rush into this industry. I believe it's going to be a massive influx of people coming in. And here's one of the reasons. The government's plan, not just Canada, everywhere, is to have less businesses because they want to have more control over it. Businesses are independent. So this is why people say it doesn't make any sense why the government shuts down the economy. Well, because that's what they want to do. They talk something different, but that's what they want to do. They want independent businesses gone. They want some big corporations take over everything. And it's been happening. In the 80s, you can relate to this. Every corner you go to, even before that 70s, 60s, you go to, there was a little corner, greasy spoon, you go eat, right? And then there's all these little corner stores, right? Today, in the developed countries, you barely see them. You can't find a greasy spoon anywhere. It's this big chain franchises. McDonald's of the world, Costco's of the world, Walmart's of the world. They came, they took over, they took all of those little places out. There are very few left. So this is not a new thing. And the whole thing about Davos and World Economic Forum is that let's get to these big corporations supply the world. So they don't want independent businesses. They don't want intimate. They want, the old boys club where they can handle, big corporations take over everything. But where does that leave you and me? We either go into some type of government assistance paycheck that keeps us broke, or we're forced to work for one of them. Is that a better option than what we have now? No. So MLM companies will pop up because of the need, sheer need. And because now the government is going to put all these restrictions on traditional businesses, more and more will fall, right? More and more jobs will be lost. So that puts more pressure, demand pressure for something to do from home. So we're going to get this huge influx of demand. People are saying, I need to do something. Even people that go on the government assistance or maybe work for one of these bigger companies, they realize, okay, no, I need to do something other than my job. In that case, demand on e-commerce businesses, MLM businesses, a bunch of companies will pop up. And unfortunately, it's happening already. A lot of these companies are now Ponzi schemes, right? They're not even companies. It's like some guy on an iMac from his home come up with some type of digital nonsense, and all of a sudden it's all about put money to take money. So here's my vision of, because MLM is evolving too within this whole economy. People are becoming smarter. The more people get wrecked in these Ponzi schemes, the more they learn. So my vision of the future is that, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe it's 10,000 of these things going around. I know there's 2,000 officially by DSA, but then there's probably another 8,000 that's unofficial. So there's all this junk happening, right? A lot of them don't last more than, a few months. But it's the same guy that just launched something and 6 months, a year, and they made some money and then it crashed, they go open another one. And that's because it's, for them, it's profitable till regulations come in and, stop this junk from happening. Enforcement of it. So, but my vision is that, and we have already seen this happen, because of the pressures that now the mandates are putting on businesses. In the old days, we used to say what affected the traditional business, like, recessions, for example. It was good for MLM, right? It was good because when traditional businesses die, people need to do something else. So that's when they're more open to making more money some other way. So MLM takes a boost. And it's been like that my entire lifetime until pandemic. For the first time, MLM sees MLM companies closing. And not because there's no demand, it's because the people who start them, they're just going qualified to start a business. They didn't have enough resources, not enough experience. Everybody, the guy is gone. God bless Mark here now. We used to have so much fun together. We used to do some calls. Mark is a legend, one of my mentors, a legend. He passed away. Probably most legendary of all legends. So he wrote 17 books in MLM. Anyway, Mark was a funny guy. He had this Idaho accent. He said, it's funny, the dude can go and fail in 10 deals and write a book, and he's an expert. And these are the same people that go open up companies. they never had no experience. They have no money. They have an iMac. That's what they have. So they're launching all this. They have no product, so they make it into something digital, right? There's a Ponzi scheme, right? So my vision is the companies will disappear. I think we're going to have about a 90%, 90% correction in MLM. It's going to be a collapse. Like these companies will boom, right? Because they don't have the resources, they don't have the products, they don't have the vision, they don't have the training infrastructure, none of that. We zipped through the pandemic, and here's another thing I'm going to brag about, and you should be bragging about, is that we proved to the world with a pandemic-proof business. Your check never stopped, the products never stopped, warehouses are full. You answered, you called, we answered, you emailed, we responded. We were there. Calls never stopped, trainings never stopped, right? If anything, we invested more into product development and come with all kind of cool stuff, and for you to be able to do business on e-commerce. So on next 5-10 years, my vision is that the industry will cleanse itself, where 95% of these companies will be gone. And more will pop up, except people are becoming smarter now. Our prospects are becoming, it's like the consumers are becoming smarter now, because they tried a couple of these things and realized, okay, now they start to recognize the difference between a Ponzi scheme and what a real business is. The fundamentals are so different, right? It's kind of funny because some of these companies, they don't even have an address. They have no office. You don't know who the owner is. There's no name. And so how do you go invest in something? You don't even know who owns it. So what are you buying anyways? All they get is a wallet, right? E-wallet, and you see a bunch of numbers, you think you're making money, there's something there, whether it's some type of cryptocurrency, but it's nothing in there. And by the time people come to try to cash it out, realize, and the app goes down. And so that's what's going on. It's a silly thing. I mean, people should never be getting in those things anyway. You got to get into business because of its fundamentals. So the good news for us, okay, there is a positive in that though. These Ponzi schemes will launch, and because they're so aggressive with their marketing, more and more people are experiencing and tasting how you can make money from home. And it won't last, right? But now companies like us, as they close these companies, we capture some of that people. That's because now they're looking for that next business, and some of them, we're going to capture some of that. You know, in 2019, no, was it 18? 19? I think it was 19. That we picked up all those companies in Philippines, and Rico was the GM there, right? So we've done something similar, you know, through John and John Bosworth and Kuno, and so we've done something similar in Thailand, right? I have other options. I mean, people coming to me now. So I think what's going to happen next 4 or 5 years, we're going to be picking up more and more companies and expand territories. I mean, I know there's stuff going on in Indonesia right now. Again, these are companies that are in India. A CEO has been talking to me for a couple of years now. India's a big market, right? So we're going to be able to pick up a lot of these companies, and they have workforce already. And of course, expand our business more and more and more. And just like how other industries chose the winners and losers, like Facebook, for example, social media, the market decided they're the winner. In e-commerce, market decided that Amazon is the winner, right? I mean, there's other ones, but there's tens of thousands launched, right? Handful doing well, and there's one winner. You know, makeups of phones, well, the market decided Samsung and Apple are the winners. I mean, there's Huawei. The point is that how many companies were used to be around and no longer around. So the industries, the market will decide who are the winners and losers. And you know what? I'm the first one been saying this, that MLM will decide who are the winners and losers in the next 5 years. And I believe with everything we've done, with all the infrastructure, the products, the different lines of products, and all global reach, our dropship system and internal currency, now Web3, there is no other company in the planet in MLM that's as ready as we are. And I believe we're in the forefront of the industry saying, Opulence is going to be the winner. There's going to be other successful companies. I'm not saying we're the only, no. There's going to be, I think from 10,000 companies that may be floating around right now, maybe it'll go down to 500. But they're good companies. They're like 500 companies are solid, that lasted. They went through the nonsense. And maybe it's going to be 100, 200. I don't know. It won't be a lot. It won't be a lot. And I believe we're positioned to be in the forefront to be the winner. This is why we keep on adding distribution centers. Initially, when I started, we took the approach of a centralized approach. Like Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has 36 companies, right? Including Dior and Jacob. They're all Louis Vuitton companies, right? But what Louis Vuitton used to do is that when they bought a company, say bought Dior, right? They would shut down their operation, run it all from the Louis Vuitton office. So they would centralize everything. And that used to be us. But I think as the time goes by, 2 decades later, no, we need more local operations. And so, and that's what we're doing. In 2005, it was Canada. Believe it or not, the next place that we had an office was actually a little island called St. Martin. There's like 50,000 people on that island, but we used to do meetings. Imagine this, island of 50,000 people. And it's split into two sides, French and Dutch. And actually two countries into one, 50,000 people. And we used to do meetings simultaneously. 3 meetings, 3 different rooms next to each other, 200 people in each one, Spanish, French, and English. Imagine that. So second place we had an office was St. Martin. And from St. Martin, it went across to 26 Caribbean countries, including St. Lucia, and Bernicia came on board and all that stuff. So, of course, now we got Trinidad and Tobago, and Dominica's been with us for a long time. And I mean, we knew that we had to do an office there. After that, we went to Singapore. Amarjeet from Canada says, hey, can I open a distribution center in Singapore? And that was in 2000. So 2005, Canada, 8 was in March, 2008. 2017 was Singapore. 2019 was Manila. 2021 was Malaysia, Jackie, and I think Renee's cousin, right? So it's fairly new operations there. Look forward to go there. 2022 is Thailand, right? You saw the beautiful offices that we're doing over there. I'm not sure if you saw. It's the nicest building in Bangkok. Nicest building back. It's a beautiful. I mean, I've been saying this forever. If you're in a developed country, Europe, North America, you haven't seen luxury. I've always said, you want to see luxury, you go to Middle East, you go to Southeast Asia. That's where you see luxury. So we took the best building in Bangkok. By the way, the prices aren't less either, because I was comparing it. The prices are not much different than downtown Toronto. So, but again, this year, our target is Thailand, in India, Indonesia, Mexico, and UK. Like we're not setting up to do business. We're setting up to win. I don't need to open offices to do business. We don't need commerce business. But we're setting up to win. We want to have this global reach. And when you talk to somebody, we have so many check marks that the other side doesn't have, that it'll make it a much easier decision to say, yeah, that's the best option. That's the best option. Multiple lines of products, different industries, right? Global reach, detached banking system. I mean, e-commerce platform with all these technologies that's embedded, Web3. I mean, we keep on pouring this thing on and on. I'm not competing with MLM companies. They're so primitive. They're like Flintstones right now. MLM companies. We're competing with. We're going after Amazon. For me, it's like, look what they're doing, and let's take some of that ideas and bring it into this primitive industry of MLM, and all of a sudden we'll be the only one that's just here while everyone else trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on? It's called evolving. That's right, Rico. Evolving. Next, we're still thinking we should do something with South Korea. We'll wait and see. Japan, Portugal, those are some of the stuff that's on our agenda. So there's a lot we can talk about. And I think I'm going to close with by saying, what's my vision? I think when our token comes out, that will do a lot of that will have a life of its own. You know, designer token, I think that's just going to do something else like on its own. Like it, so I think that's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the cryptocurrency space. It opens up a whole new area, which we don't want to, we're going to let that kind of develop on its own. There's an opportunity for you guys if you just want to pick some of that stuff up. It's not going to be part of our, everyday thing here, but being able to have a decentralized currency to accept and to sell, and that is a big deal. I mean, it's the future. I mean, you cannot get away from that. Essentially what Exit does is that what Opulence currency and shopping credits has been doing for our business for the past 18 years. The reason why it's so easy for you guys to do the transaction, you might not know this. Over 80% of our transactions in our company, Opulence, every day is not through cash or credit card. Did you know that? It's through Opulence currency and shopping credits, because once you bought your package, you have a bunch of shopping credits. So all these transactions are happening on the shopping credit. You don't have to use every other company. You have to, your credit card better work, right? You better pay the currency exchanges, and you guys are a worldwide business. You pay your currency exchange, you're paying all these fees. If you don't get limitations, some countries, you know how it is. Some countries have a limitation how much money you can spend on the Visa card, or there's your card, but now you realize it's not your card because there's a limitation. It's not even a limitation by Visa. It's a limitation by your country that doesn't want the money to go outside your country, right? This stuff, we've been dealing with this stuff for forever, right? So, but then in our business, if you're with another company, you can't just go place an order because you want to place an order, unless it's a local company. But then that's not a global opportunity, right? So if you're in another company, you have to worry about limitations that the card company deal with, all the fees of the card company, right? And worry about your government. Nowadays, I heard the other day, 2 days ago, some ridiculous low number of that now the government wants to know. You have to fill up forms. Who's getting the money? Forms. So you thought your money was yours, and I realized no, it's not really yours. So just like your home, you thought you owned it, but so this is where it's going, right? This is where it's going. But then you don't feel that in Opulence, right? You're so used to it, you don't even know the difference, because you just kind of log in the back office. Oh, I like that shoe. I like that watch. Oh, shopping credit, great. Didn't spend a penny. It gets shipped out the same day. How cool is that? And that's what allowed us to go global, because it will allow you to do commerce and transactions without any third-party interference. What if you're building somewhere else, some other parts of the world, 3 o'clock in the morning, the office is closed here because it's middle of the night. Somebody says, I want to launch right now because it's daytime there. I got 2 more people, no problem. Here's Opulence currency. Boom, instantly you transfer it to them. Boom, you're in the system. That doesn't happen in the banking system. That doesn't happen with Visa or MasterCard. That doesn't happen in MLM. Happens here. So we got this internal currency. We've been using it for 18 years. Now we take that system, because only for the members, right? It's internal. We take that system, put it on the blockchain. And now anybody can use it. They don't have to be a member. Anyone can come shop on Opulence, shop in, soon join, launch business using Exit. So people can pick up their Exit before they become a member. You can't do that now with Opulence currency, right? You got to be a member. So at the end of the day, I see the future that, Exit will have its own designer token. It's going to have its own. I could see fashion keep on expanding, becoming more and more luxurious. I could see that because we're in the forefront and we're going to keep up picking up companies, and we're going to hit $1 billion a year in revenue. That's what I've always envisioned. And I could see when that happens, we create 1,000 millionaires, because obviously our comp plan doesn't understand this stuff, right? Money comes in, it spits it out. That's a cool thing about a comp plan, where the software makes those decisions. Any other business, by the way, traditional businesses, the owner gets the money and writes checks to employees, right? So it doesn't matter how much money comes in, he writes the same check, right? So even if you double and triple your sales, he writes the same check. Your check doesn't fluctuate, and there's no volatility there, right? It's so that's why the owners get very wealthy, because no, and you could be stressed as an employee and working around the clock, right? And you have to work overtime and then deal with customers and all of that stuff, and you're going crazy. The owner gets the bigger, the business goes up, the owner gets the money, you get the stress, and get the same check. The thing about MLM, what I love is, say, the owner is not involved at all. I have no idea what happens in a million lines of code. I have no interest to look into that. I'm interested in people, but not what's going on in there. And all I know, on Tuesday, I get a report what the software spit out as commission. So the software is the boss. So I'm just getting a report, whether I like it or not. These are the checks that went having out, which, by the way, it's got volatility. Volatility is vitality. It's real. It's alive. You want something that's volatile. If it's volatile, that means it's a chance to go up very quickly. If it's stable, that means it's dead. In the hospital, dee, dee, dee. So you don't want that. You don't. That's a job. That's a job. What you want, something that has a chance when there's a buy pressure, when there is, then you get a raise. You can go give yourself a raise this week, pop 3 tours, convert 1, boom, $300. You can do that here, but you can't do that in a job, right? You get the same paycheck. Doesn't matter how much you produce, right? Doesn't matter how much you produce. It's the same job. Like, you get the same paycheck, right? Man, we can talk about the stuff all day. 33 years I've been doing this, and I'm so into the stuff, and I clearly see all the stuff, right? And if your mind is not really, if you're not paying attention and looking at it the way I look at it, and it takes years, then I guess nothing matters, right? Everything just zoomed right by you. You don't capture anything. It's like, I go into a country and I'm looking at the terrain, I'm looking at the forest, I'm picking everything up. And some of you may be like that in that. And there's other people going through the same terrain, either taking a nap, or they're kind of looking, but not seeing anything. But some of you, look at that tree, look at that flower, right? So I'm like that in MLM. I'm like that. I'm like that about the economy. I'm like that about what's going on with the government, tyranny, and mandates, and all the stuff. And it's a good thing, because then we implement stuff to be prepared for anything that's out of our control they're going to throw at us. That we put this wall around our people called Opulence Nation, and we try to protect them from the junk. With that, Rico, I'm going to pass the call back to you. If there's any questions, by all means, you can ask the questions. But we want to have a chat today, put you in my head a little bit, see what's going on in here 24/7. I'm obsessed with this stuff. I mean, I'm obsessed with life. I'm obsessed with creating and moving forward and evolving. My biggest fear in life is staying the same. My biggest fear in life is, burning through a day. Well, I'm not better today than I was yesterday. That's my biggest fear. And I hope that you adopt that, and every single day become a better version of yourself. And when you do that through this framework of opulence, Life is pretty opulent. Back to you, Rico.
Wow, thank you so much, Ramin. Aren't you glad that you're in this call? And didn't you wish that your guests are also in this call? Ramin, we've been talking for just an hour. It seems like, it's just 30 minutes. Time flies so fast. And the great thing about what you have shared with us today is that, an hour is not enough for us to share all of the benefits that we have here in Opulence Global. And as what you have said, you just have to open your eyes to all of the good things that we have here. Keep on sharing these benefits to people because people are looking for, freedom, independence. People are looking for ways to improve themselves. And we have an opportunity that allows them to do that. So thank you so much, Ramin, and also for sharing with us your vision. This is very, very important, especially if you're down and having challenges in your business. All you have to do is to look ahead. What's ahead, what's in store for you, because we're going there. We have the infrastructure, we have everything that you need. It's just a matter of time. But as our CEO has said, you have to wave the flag, wave the flag. Show them what you've got, show them what opulence is all about. Because at the end of the day, our experience, I mean, especially when we're doing the tours in the field right now, is that, the moment that they've seen how beautiful the opportunity is, then they can just find a way to be a part of it. So that's what our experience is. The more sharing you do, the more results that you're going to have. And that's just a fact about the opportunity that we have here. And I can see a lot of thank yous, a lot of warm wishes. Oh, yes, yes. Yes. And Rami, we have a question here with regards to the book, the Forensic Networker book. How can we access to read the book?
Well, that's a question that comes up for years. I'm not in the book business, so what I did was this is version 8 that comes up. I only created it for when we did seminars. And the people that joined the seminar, they got it part of the package. It was, you had to pay $500 to get into the seminar, but it was a 2-day seminar, 12 hours a day. But everybody, somebody got on this chat. If you've been there, put your hand up. Anybody who's been to a forensic seminar, it's intensive. They said this changed for life, Whether you're part of Opulence or not, it changes you as a person, and then you get success somewhere else. I had some of my students were telling me in commercial real estate and different things that they've become so successful because they're forensic networker seminars. And we used to offer the book and the MO box in that seminar. So some of you guys have the original versions. To be honest, I failed here because I've been promising to update it. And so another thing, what keeps forensic above everything else, and people from other MLM, I guess, gurus, they sell the book they wrote 20 years ago. They still print it and sell it. Like, I mean, it's so irrelevant. It's all, but it's money for them. I wouldn't do that. Forensic, I update it because world changes so much. So I update it. So I need to update this because the last version was done in 2015, I think. I mean, 90% is part relevant, but pandemic changed a lot of stuff. So I'm going to update it, and I'm going to, for the first time, I'm going to mass produce it. And so everyone can have it. And as long as you guys promise to buy 100 at a time, if I'm going to if I'm going to do all the work, you guys have to promise we're going to make it a bestseller. So, that means you have all my book, buy 100 of them, and then you can sell it to your team or whatever it is. Because a lot of people need this information, right? And forensic, you guys have not even seen forensic because we haven't done a seminar in years. It's so much information. That's what the whole thing about forensic is. In those, I guess, 25 hours, or it could be a 7-day seminar, to be honest. It will dig into your gut and screw up all your belief levels you have now. Screws us up because our belief levels is what brought us to where we are. And for most people, we need to change that. So it goes in to screw things up, get you all your mode, interrupt your pattern, put you on a path of success. And anybody who's been to the forensic seminar will tell you they will never be the same. They will never be the same because it really challenges your current beliefs. And then you want to not do the things that you have always done that made you suffer. and you find yourself doing more, becoming more, learning more positive, opens up your mind. The stuff that was acceptable to you not acceptable anymore. And that's how you become a better version of yourself. When you have a bunch of understandings that's now embedded inside you, and then because it's there, it's unaccepted anymore to you, then you're making some changes and you get to, and people tell me all the time. I mean, the biggest compliment I ever got was, I had somebody tell me, Ramin, you make me a better father. I'm like, wow. Like, that's the biggest compliment you can get. That's the biggest compliment you can get, because, in my seminars, I talk about my promise to Cyrus when he was 4 months old and all that. So it's that type of impact. So I'm promised I will do my part, and I'm going to finish it up, update it. So as you promise that we're going to push it hard and make sure everybody have a box and a book. And yeah, I want to make it a New York bestseller. Deal?
Yes, Ramin, and of course, we're looking forward to that as well. I can see a lot of comments here. Can't wait and anticipating that forensic network book. That's also, as Ronin has said, make it also a workbook. And also another question, Ramin. Actually, there's two more questions here, which I think are related. They're asking for an update on the exit coin, and how do you approach someone who is in the crypto world or the digital business? How can we explain why Opulence is the company for them?
All right. So exit was ready. It's just that we run into some, which is, I guess, normal, run into some issues with the exchange. So that's what's taking too long, because we're going to release it on the exchange, on exchange. Exit's going to be similar to what forensic is today. People use forensic to prospect other network marketers through a very neutral platform, which is forensic. People come to forensic channels, Forensic Networking Nation on Facebook, Forensic Networking on Instagram, forensicnetworker.com. There's 84 companies in the forensicnetworker.com. You guys should all go there right now and go to forensicnetworker.com, put in your email. Now you get all the responders with once a week on my forensic mantras, as well as you all should go to YouTube, Forensic Networker, subscribe, go to forensicnetworker.nation on Facebook, follow, because I put stuff there all the time. So people use forensic to get other network marketers affiliated with me, forensic, and build like and trust and recruit them right into our business. Exit would be similar, except there's so many people in cryptocurrency. The minute cryptocurrency people, when you say cryptocurrency, they get really excited. they don't even care. So now you have a prospect that you can work with. You don't necessarily have to mix exit with Opulence yet in the beginning, right? You start talking crypto and our use cases, our white paper, and all of that, right? And from that, and of course, one of the main use cases of exit is be able to shop designer goods with it. So who are the designer goods? Perry and Posh. Oh, okay. So by the way, let me tell you about that. So now that leads into other conversations. You got your MO box, you got thousands of the cryptocurrency people you're talking to about exit, not Opulence, not MLM. They end up in your, and hey, by the way, let me tell you about some of the use cases of exit. And of course, that is very posh. This is released by Opulence, and Opulence might have the business, and what's the business. So all of a sudden, now you got the box, it's filled up with 50 calls a day. And because exit allowed you build a bridge between you and I don't know, was it 300 million last I heard? It goes up so fast. 300 million people in cryptocurrency space. And by this year, they said be a billion people who are, the word cryptocurrency gets them excited, right? It's a cryptocurrency, the years go up, right? They all want that latest and greatest and quick, fastest. And so it builds that bridge. So get your MO box. You're going to need it. I mean, I don't know why you guys don't do it. It's so cheap. Before you have to spend $500 to get it, right? That's what was entire lifetime. Because I don't do seminars anymore. I don't have the time for it. We saw, I don't know what it is, $100. Is that what it is? It's like so cheap. And so get it, because you're going to need to fill those slots up every day. Without it, you're not going to do well. I'm telling you guys, I've been saying this. You cannot be consistent without the MO box. You need it, right? So once you got it, And now exit comes out. There's so many chat groups about cryptocurrency. Hey guys, check this one out. There's a video, there's a link. By the way, all of you, I don't know if you've seen this, we need to build a community around exit as well. So when you see a link, and we're sharing it now, about go on Instagram, for example, exit exchange, all right, and then go follow, like, comment, all that. So make a lot of noise, right? Make a lot of noise. Anything, I think on Facebook, the same thing, exit exchange, go make a lot of noise, right? Exit token, Facebook, Instagram, make sure you do it today. Go do it right now. Like, follow, make a lot of noise, because at the end of the day, when we have a big community there, cryptocurrency people, that's what they do, by the way. The very first thing they do is that they go check out the social media to see if there's any action going on. And in this company, what we need to get really better at, guys, and it's better, I mean, this is really to your benefit, is that, many of you have not done the most basic things, which is, okay, social media, because it's in the 12 commandment, right? It's in the very first thing you learn in this business is the 12 commandment. And in that is a follow on social media. That means it doesn't mean follow one. It says all, right? Like, comment, make noise, love it, this, that, whatever. Make a lot of noise, because when your prospects are checking us out and there's not much going on there, you lose the prospect. So do your part. Do your part. On the 12th commandment, right? Follow all social media. Like, follow, make noise, right? Get loud, right? So, and maybe there's like, with exit now, like 5 or 6 of them. Opulence Family is a great place to go. Every time we sponsor somebody, guys, go to Opulence Family and then welcome them there. That used to be a place, it was so bopping, it was hilarious. You could go to the Opulence Family, and it's like every time you refresh, you know how you refresh? A new testimonial, a new welcome would show up. So you just go refresh, a new one, refresh. It was so busy because people were welcoming their people there. And the new person loved it because now everyone's welcoming them, right? And they're feeling amazing about it. So using the energy of everybody to welcome your new partner. It's the greatest thing, right? It's a nation, it's a family. And I can tell you, people will join your family whether they make money or not. They get in for that reason alone. Again, culture is what's become really important in the future, because everybody offers the best opportunity anyways, right? Everyone's the best. But so why people will join is because the culture, right? The family. So Opulence Family, make sure you go there, right? Welcome all your new partners. Hey, please help me welcome Jack, from Dominica, right? So Jack goes there, hey, Jack, welcome somebody from Singapore. Hey, Jack, welcome somebody from Trinidad. Hey, Jack, welcome. And Jack feels amazing. It's like, oh, wow, I don't even know these people. What a company, right? What a company. Some basic things, build a community, right? So make sure that you guys do that. And so I hope I answered your question where, there's going to be a billion people that the most important word in their head is cryptocurrency. Now we have it in, except I'm getting really, really excited about designer token because, by the way, the name is designer token. We want to focus on the designer side, right? The symbol is exit, right? The symbol. So we're embedding so much technology into this token, into this blockchain, that the white paper looks really, really impressive, right? But just the stuff we can do with it, I mean, I don't want to get into that today, but it's becoming really, 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 really exciting. So truly what we've done with Opulence above all the other MLMs, I'm doing that right now with exits. So when somebody says I love cryptocurrency, let me show you the king. Let me show you the best one. Why is it the best? Let me tell you, use cases. You go match this. Go match this. There is it. So you know how I am, right? I'm a wrestler. We got to conquer, right? So exit will come out with full of functions that does not exist today in the cryptocurrency space, and the real functions, right? Which opens up a whole bunch of other doors later on. But the point is this: it allows you to have a really good conversation with all of these crypto people let me show you the best token out there, right? And we'll keep it simple enough that you could just, it's a check mark thing. And you don't need to be a cryptocurrency expert to know all those things sound good. They sound really, really good. And guess what? You're not going to find it anywhere else. It's full of technology. So that opens up, look, MLM starts with a conversation, right? It starts with a conversation that leads into a presentation and then leads into 3 results. Become a customer, they become a distributor, reseller, or they're not interested, right? But it starts with a conversation that turns into a presentation and turns into a result. And exit allows us to start the conversation. So hopefully that was a good, appropriate answer for you.
Yes, absolutely, Ramin. Thank you so much. And we're getting more and more love in our chat box. Thank you so much to all of our partners. And of course, it's already 18 minutes past the hour. And again, thank you so much, Ramin, for sharing with us your amazing and inspiring vision. And of course, a lot of the benefits that you can get from Opulence Global. Now, let me just share a little bit of what is currently going on right now. We have just some few announcements. Will take around 2 to 3 minutes. I'll just do it very, very quick because a lot of exciting things are happening with Opulence Global. And of course, right now, July 24, our SVP is having their Dominica tour. So make sure that you invite as much people as you can there. We have a lot of activities, events that is ongoing right now. As our CEO has said, be loud and proud, share, 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 wave the flag of Opulence Global. And of course, on St. Lucia, that will be happening on July 28, July 29 as well. So get our Opulence Global Nation Facebook page so you can tune in and of course get more details about these events. Also coming up is London. Opulence Global is coming to London on July 30 and also on July 31, of course, together with our youngest multimillionaire, Renee Liao, Scott Luzzi, and of course, our amazing leaders, Stella Bassi and Asia also will be there as well. And also, don't miss out. Buy your early bird tickets for our product conference that will be happening on September 23 to 24. Be the first to purchase this early bird tickets, and of course make sure that you share this with your whole team as well, as this is going to take your business to the next level once you see all of the amazing announcement that is in store for you there in that product conference 23 to 24 of September. And of course, you are invited to the barbecue customer appreciation party, which will happen on August 13, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this will happen, of course, in our headquarters in Ontario, Canada, in Richmond Hill, of course, our office there in Canada. And of course, don't miss out this exciting cruise that is going, that's happening on April 2023. Make sure that you learn how you can qualify for this free luxury cruise. Of course, this is going to be an epic event as well, of course, together with our top leaders and of course, together with the corporate team as well. So this will be happening on April 2023. And that's about it. And of course, we still have the Blitz promotion, especially for the India market that is opening up right now. It is extended up until July 31. So we still have a few more days to go. So contact anyone you know there from India. And of course, that's about it. Thank you so much, Ramin, for again sharing with us your vision in this call. And of course, I hope to all of our partners all around the world, you enjoyed this call as much as I did. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in this call. If you still have any questions, especially to our guest for today, please get back to the person who invited you here so they can answer the questions that you might have. And I hope you enjoyed our time together, and I hope you've learned something that you can apply to your life today. And as the late Larry King always said, you'll never know when you'll find that single spark of insight that makes the difference for you. See us again next week, same day, same link, so we can tune into another inspirational call. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy Sunday, everyone. May you enjoy the rest of your day. To the billion. Thank you so much, Gio Ramin.
To the billion.
To the billion.